I would introduce myself to everyone, but there's a lot of you. Anyway, nice to meet you all. I go here? Okay. Okay, let's start. So the whole city is full of posters of your face. We have one behind you. It's on the magazine and the catalog. And your maternal grandmother was Swedish, or half Danish, half Swedish, I think.
My maternal grandmother was herself Swedish, but her mother was, her family was Danish.
Okay.
Originally.
So of course we think of you as a Swedish
So do I.
actress. But what role does Sweden play in your life?
Well, I guess, you know, being raised by a Swedish mother, that was very much just the atmosphere of my upbringing, you know. Actually, I like to joke that I didn't really understand that I was American until I was around 15. Because for my mother, whenever you were badly behaved, the insult for you was you were behaving like an American. It took me a little while to sort of realize that she was a little off base. But so I've had a strong influence from both. Just through, of course, my childhood.
And you've been here before?
I have been here before. Yeah. I've been south, and I've been here, and I've been out into the water.
Okay.
But not enough. I haven't canvassed the entire country, but I've been where my mother was from, which was near Malmo, and where my grandmother grew up, and that's where my grandparents lived.
Okay. And now, of course, you're here to receive the Achievement Award at the Stockholm Film Festival, and it's taking place, the award ceremony tonight at 6 p.m. At Park. How do you feel about this?
I'm very honored. I'm very, very honored. I'm very touched. It's very nice to come here to bring my mother back home and
she's accompanying you.
She is accompanying me and seeing relatives. And I think another interesting thing for me is, you know, having grown up in Massachusetts with my mother, you know, there was no extended family. You know, there was no presence of my grandmother passed away when I was around 3. And with the exception of my mother's one brother, you know, she was living in a world with no family. And to come here and get to meet my cousins, and she has her sister here, and it's really very it's very sweet.
I imagine. So this year's festival is dedicated to Lauren Bacall, and she was here 14 years ago to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award. So which actors have been your...
She was a great lady, Betty. And I actually had the privilege of knowing her. And she was as witty in life as she was in her performances. Really, really witty lady. I actually went to a friend of mine's many years ago. A very close friend of ours had a birthday party, and it was at La Grand Ouille in New York, which is a nice French restaurant. And there was 3 or 4 round tables, and I was sitting at one with Lauren Bacall and my girlfriend Natasha Richardson. May she rest in peace also. And I looked around the table, and they're all women, and I said, "Oh, look, there are no men here." And Lauren Bacall said, "Just like life." Just like in life, honey. So my memories of her were very sweet. Very, very witty woman.
Okay. Do you look differently on which kind of parts you accept now when you had this time?
Well, definitely in that I really want to do. I feel very fueled up to do some strong work. I've just started something that I'm very excited about.
Can you tell us more?
Yes, it's based on a book, and it was turned into an Australian miniseries that I know showed here. It's called The Slap in English. And it's a really interesting drama.
So there's an American remake?
Yes.
It's going to be a TV drama?
It will be on television in America, on NBC. I'm sure it will show here. But it's an 8-part series of a sort of character study of a group of friends and acquaintances of what happens to this group when one person at a party loses their temper and slaps the child of another person. And what the kind of catastrophic effects of this single slap are on the lives of all of these adults and children, and how this sort of, this act rips a passage, or I don't know, cuts through like a chainsaw these ties that bond these people.
Can you maybe say a little bit about your own character in the series?
So I play a character called Anouk, and she's a woman. She's one of the only friends who is childless by choice, and a little bit captivated in her own youth still, slightly arrested, not because she has no children, just the character is a little bit like that, and it's her own sort of journey and relationship to her friends.
Okay.
And it was written by the wonderful American playwright John Robin Bates, who is probably one of the best playwrights we have working today. So it's very, it's very cinematic and psychologically interesting.
And that's shooting right now.
Yes,
yeah.
Literally. I was shooting yesterday.
Okay.
And I will be shooting Monday.
Okay.
But I couldn't miss coming here. So.
No, you're so welcome. Okay.
Yes,
please.
Veli-Pekka from Helsinki, Finland. I would like to ask you about things happened 20 years ago. The scene in Pulp Fiction where you dance with John Travolta has been, is an iconic cinema picture nowadays.
Yes.
How it was when you made the scene?
Are you referring to the dancing scene now?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Was it special?
I've had the privilege of dancing with John Travolta twice. One time iconically and one time just for fun, another movie. But no, it was really special, you know. At that point, I had been working for a while since I started acting as a teenager, but it was just a really wonderful moment, you know. Quentin Tarantino, as a director at the time, was really, you know, becoming himself, and he was so exuberant. And he and Travolta, you know, sort of choreographed the dance together, and it was really special. You know, I mean, it's sort of a famous story, but Quentin was shooting some of it himself, and then he couldn't help but to dance along, so the camera was dancing with the actors. But and that film actually, I think, was here at the Stockholm Film Festival.
Yes, and Quentin has been here twice.
And won the Bronze Horse.
Did it? Yeah, exactly.
I have it. He gave it to me.
Oh, you have the horse?
Yes, I do. He gave
the heaviest
he
prize in the film world.
I think he won twice, so he had an extra one.
Yeah.
This is very generous.
Yeah, he had a good time here, I guess. He's been talking a lot of good stuff about the Stockholm Film Festival.
Yes. Well, it's festivals like this that are so important for the film industry, you know, really to create energy and attention to more serious films, and hopefully less serious ones sometimes. Both of, I have equal affection for both, but you know, without festivals, the platform for serious filmmaking and international filmmaking would be so weak. So it's so essential that, you know, as film journalists and critics and actors and what should we call festival people? Festivales, I don't know. It's sort of basically keeping a pulse of the film industry going.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm running for Nordic Star magazine. I'm just wondering, do you know any Swedish at all? Have you both?
No, I mean, I do know a little, but I wouldn't want to embarrass my mother by saying it. You know, it's terrible that my mother only spoke English to all of us, and she is a person who grew up with a number of languages. She spoke German, she spoke Swedish, she spoke a bit of Chinese. She lived in China in her early years before they could get home to Sweden. She was born in 1941, which was a terribly difficult time to be born. And they were stuck away from Sweden in China, actually, trying to get back to Sweden at the end of the war. So I don't know, maybe a little bit of that trauma or something. She stuck to English.
So with such a long career and such great parts, do you have something to say about the female characters that are being written today in Hollywood? Do you think it's Yeah.
I don't really know. I know when I'm sort of spoiled when I only see the good stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, I think more of a concern is how squeezed the film industry is, you know? And I think it's wonderful that television as a medium has blossomed into this great platform. But I do love movies, and you know, moving forward, wondering how we will continue to have such a great number of vibrant films made.
Yeah, there is a brain drain to be done for sure going on.
Yeah, it's just it's challenging.
About tonight, about being here.
Oh, I'm having a wonderful time. I'm having a wonderful time. I wish I could stay longer, but I will be back. No, it's really nice. I don't know quite what to expect.
No, like how long are you here for?
I have to work on Monday,
Okay.
so unfortunately I have to go back on Sunday. But I was supposed to stay longer, but I will be back.
I like this movie, and I want this movie because this.
Yes. No, in general, it's a screenplay. In some cases, it's a director. But usually, even if you're very intrigued by a director, you need to have... I mean, sometimes I've done something just because I like the actor or just because I like the director. But most often, it's the screenplay has to have something that I can just start to picture it. It just goes sort of right into... It starts to stimulate my imagination. Just as much as you can read something and think it's interesting, but not be able to visualize it, so doesn't make sense. So I guess it's just a creative spark.
And does it come true as well as you imagine?
Nothing ever is like you imagined, is it? Everything's always slightly different, and most of life is learning how to appreciate that, how to accept those differences. So no, nothing is ever quite like you imagine it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I will see you again. Only not so long from now.
Bye. Great.